short while ago, I made a video encouraging players to return to vanilla era classic WoW. A video which I stand by, and which a fair few of you cheeky chappies seem to have agreed with.
Nice.
To be fair, some of you didn't agree, but that's fine. Since then, I've continued my own fresh vanilla adventure, which has been something pretty special, and I'd advise you all to check it out if you haven't done so already. I've had a great time. Apart from when I've gone to the Badlands. Seriously, that place is straight out of fucking Blood Meridian. Don't go there, Alliance. It's been a great adventure so far, though some might say I've been getting a bit too into it. Oh, come on, look, be with me. Yes! 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 I don't know why I'm feeling so good about getting a fucking chest. But more importantly, over the last month or so, I've gotten to talk with a lot of people, both in the comments on my videos and in-game, about their experiences in Classic WoW and their hopes for the future of the classic game. And having these conversations made me think myself about the future of Classic WoW and on a problem that seems to be looming on the horizon. Now, as I've said before, the likeliest development with Classic will be that Blizzard simply follows the release pattern that retail WoW went through, which will mean that we should soon be playing Classic Cataclysm in just over a year's time, and we can all look forward to playing Classic WoD in 2028. Good times ahead, boys. Get ready to start playing COVID Lockdown Simulator by hiding in your garrison 23.5 hours a day. Good shit, right? Getting back on topic though, I've talked about my own views on Cata in a separate video, so I won't get into that too much here, but it is interesting that of the many people I personally have spoken to about it, it seems that players are either very keen for Cataclysm or completely against even playing it. Now, polarised, extreme opinions on any topic is probably just the nature of the internet. It's not unusual for someone to threaten to burn your house down with your family inside just because you said that you don't like Sephiroth.
I'll get you, bitch!
But when it comes to Cataclysm, I think that the real contrast in opinions is justified. As I've said before, Cataclysm marks a definitive change in World of Warcraft. While some people are keen to experience that next chapter in WoW's history, others see the transition of Wrath into Cata as marking the end of classic WoW and the beginning of the modern retail game we have today. A lot of players don't want to look forward to that changed game, and instead they look to the past for inspiration on where classic WoW should head from here. Indeed, a lot of people have returned to vanilla, as I have, either to play on normal classic era servers or in preparation for the expected launch of hardcore servers for vanilla era classic in the near future. And I might point out that the development of those hardcore servers makes it clear that Blizzard themselves are also unwilling to simply move on from this first version of the game. It also shows that they are finally interested in the potential of taking vanilla WoW and modifying it to make something new. And so we return once again to the topic of Classic Plus. Now, just in case you've been living in an underground bomb shelter for the past few years, and honestly I wouldn't blame you for doing so, Classic Plus is the prospect of Blizzard releasing additional content such as further class balancing and development, expansion of the PvP systems, as well as new and original PvE endgame content, all for the vanilla era version of Classic WoW. Think of it as additional patches with new content that would have come after Naxxramas if the Burning Crusade expansion had never been released. Most viewers of this channel know that Classic Plus is what I personally have wanted for years now. The spirit of vanilla with new content that we can get excited about and all explore for the very first time together. I've been talking about this idea for years, even before I had the Vulgrin channel and was playing vanilla on private servers, spending my days hunting down low-level Alliance players like a fucking psychopath. And all throughout that time, I've never really expected it to happen, to be honest, because whilst Blizzard was working its way through re-releasing the original WoW trilogy of Vanilla, the Burning Crusade and Wrath, it didn't seem like there was any real incentive for them to look seriously at the concept of Classic Plus. But once Icecrown Citadel is released for Wrath Classic and Arthas is defeated, people are going to quickly look at what comes next, and I'm not talking about Halion. The prospect of working our way through expansion after expansion, starting with Cataclysm and coming ever close to the retail model, is going to lead to a split in the classic population, and I believe that more and more players will want vanilla and vanilla plus, as we have already arguably seen with the hardcore classic movement. And this is where the problem lies for me. You see, it's not about the player base being divided or anything like that. That's already happening with retail, Wrath and vanilla servers all having their own loyal supporters. Play whichever version of the game you want, or all of them if you have the time. in which case, fuck you, I wish I had your life. No, I'm not bothered about the split in the player base at all. The real problem is that whoever I speak to, wherever I go, I hear the same thing when people talk about the future of Classic and the concept of additional content for it, whether that's for vanilla or even additions to the later expansions. Everyone says the same thing. We don't trust Blizzard. I hear that expression voiced in a variety of ways, sometimes not very politely at all. And this makes sense, sadly. Over a prolonged period, Blizzard has demonstrated that its main focus as a company is to maximise the revenue it can bring in from its various IPs. Now, I don't inherently have a problem with that. They own a product and they want to monetize it, that's fine. The issue is that quality has suffered, and I'm not just talking about WoW here. Blizzard used to be known for producing genre-defining, world-class video games. It's crazy when you think of how many different genres they dominated back in the day. Diablo 2, arguably the best ARPG of all time. StarCraft and Warcraft 3, two of the biggest RTS games ever. And of course, World of Warcraft, the most successful MMORPG ever made. These games made Blizzard, but they themselves were made out of a desire by the developers to create something special and to push the boundaries of what a team could produce. There was a focus on the artistry, innovation, and most importantly, the quality of these games. Indeed, Blizzard quality used to be a term saved for only the very best in gaming. But now, what records are broken by Blizzard? What great feats do they accomplish as a company other than speedrunning the destruction of their own reputation with their players? The company simply isn't viewed with the same respect and adoration that it used to be. In fact, I would go so far as to say, rightly or wrongly, Blizzard is viewed with scorn by a majority of gamers for perceived failures not just surrounding the quality of their games, but the way that they operate as a company as a whole. And this is me being my most generous and mature self. I could say a lot of other things if I wanted to. But in terms of their games, I think the main issue is that focus on profit over product, really. When it comes to creative works, focusing on trying to make as much money from your IP as possible does not necessarily equate to producing the best product possible. For example, if I wanted to make the most profitable social media content right now, I'd be on TikTok shouting gang gang repeatedly for tips like a rapper from fucking South Central Los Angeles. Instead, I make long-form YouTube videos about World of Warcraft for an audience nearly as unhinged as I am. Just kidding, you make me smile. And I do this because I care about the integrity of my work and the creative intentions behind this channel, more than simply growing it as fast as possible and monetizing the shit out of it. Whereas the decisions that Blizzard has been making over the last 10 or more years, cancelling promising projects, releasing subpar, unfinished games, and frankly appearing to do whatever they can to milk every dollar out of their beloved franchises, at the cost of loyal players mind you, has made the player base of Classic WoW seriously concerned regarding their ability to produce any form of Classic Plus, or even to effectively manage the game as it is. And let's be clear, making additional content for vanilla WoW is not as easy as it first seems. It would require Blizzard putting themselves in the mindset of game developers from the early 2000s, not only designing engaging content for an MMO, which is hard enough, but also ensuring that this matched the style and limitations of a much older video game. I think that the view of most people seems to be that they would like Classic Plus in some form, but they don't trust Blizzard to deliver it. And unfortunately, I think that this is my view too at this point. It's not a novel opinion either. I remember playing on private servers in the years preceding the release of Blizzard's own Classic WoW, and a lot of people even then were of the opinion that the official servers just wouldn't match the quality and fidelity of the better private servers available at that time. And not just because Blizzard wouldn't let them say naughty words in world chat. Whether that turned out to be the case or not is something I'll let you decide for yourselves. And speaking of private servers, let's just be honest, some of them are popping off. They're in a better position now than they have been since the launch of Classic back in 2019, something which I attribute, again evidenced by the comments I've seen from dozens of people, to a dissatisfaction with Blizzard's actions and a mistrust of their ability to properly manage and develop the game. And the simple reality is that Classic Plus already exists. It's called Turtle WoW, a server which I have recommended to me on a daily basis at this point, and which by all accounts is of a very high quality indeed, not only providing a vanilla WoW experience, but also additional content including new races, balancing and completely original new raids and dungeons in the spirit of classic era WoW. And Turtle WoW's not alone either. This morning I was taking a dump, not sure why that's relevant to be honest, and I checked my phone. Lo and behold, I saw a news article from Polygon talking about another private server holding a charitable roleplay event. People are seeking out alternatives and finding that there are options out there which don't involve supporting Blizzard or putting your faith in them to deliver the magic that they seem to have lost some time ago. But here's the thing, private servers are tenuous and transitory, and the bigger they get, the more of a threat they become to the company whose product they are emulating. It's very unlikely that any private server, even one that becomes as big as Nostarius, has or will grow more popular than the official option, because most people don't want to run the risk of getting in trouble or of the server being shut down after they put hundreds or thousands of hours into characters on it. This is a fair concern to have. It has happened before and will happen again, kinda like Armageddon, but even more annoying. Every day I have new comments recommending me to play on Turtle WoW, and of course that interests me for many reasons, but I myself am not immune to the significant issues that come with playing on such a server. As a content creator, or whatever you want to call this weird YouTube thing that I do, playing on these servers poses a risk to my channel. There's no avoiding that. You're essentially providing evidence of yourself breaking Blizzard's terms of service, something which really isn't a concern to any anonymous players, but becomes an issue when you have a channel of any real size showing yourself playing the game. It will be like robbing a bank in a mask and carrying a big sack with a $sign printed on it, filming yourself doing it, and then sending that film to the police with a letter enclosing your fucking name and address. Probably not a great plan. Once, I wouldn't have really cared about that risk, but with the great support that you've all shown, my channel is growing nicely right now. A wonderful community is forming around it, and I care about being able to keep producing these videos. The irony is that playing on a private server to experience Classic Plus, the game I really want to play, runs the risk of harming the channel that provides such a big portion of the motivation I have to play World of Warcraft in the first place. For now at least, the prevailing view does seem to be that many people would like to see Classic Plus someday, but don't trust Blizzard to execute it. And I guess we'll just have to see if they can do anything that will change this perspective among players. Hardcore Classic will be the first true test of that, but it's interesting to note that there are already people out there who believe that Blizzard's rendition of Hardcore will not be as good as what the players themselves have already created. I made this video because the future of Classic has been on my mind ever since I came back to the game and started my vanilla series. I do believe that the game is fast approaching a crossroads, and at some point the question of additional new content, either for vanilla or to fix the well-known issues with subsequent expansions, will need an answer from Blizzard. For me, the question isn't if Blizzard will ever make some kind of Classic Plus, but rather, are they up to the task? What do you think? I would love to know your thoughts on the topics of Classic Plus and the future of Classic WoW. Let me know in the comment section below. I wouldn't have made this video if I hadn't already had so many interesting discussions with you all, and I'd love for that to continue. If you liked the video and you'd want to see more of this sort of thing, consider subscribing to the channel. I'd love to have you stick around. But until the next episode guys, be well, take care of yourselves, and I will see you all later. Bye bye.